inverse of a matrix. Definition of inverse. The inverse, definition of inverse. The inverse of A is 1 all over A. And the multiplication of these two numbers gives us the identity element 1. So how can A times 1 all over A is equals to 1. Where A is a constant, 1 all over A is called the inverse of A. Given the matrix M times the matrix X is equals to B, where M, X, and B are three matrices, to solve the matrix we first have to find the matrix M inverse, such that M times M inverse is equals to M inverse times M, which is equals to the identity matrix. Method of finding the inverse. 1. By simultaneous equations. Given that M is the matrix with elements 3, 1, 2, 1, let us find the inverse of M. To solve the inverse, to solve F inverse, we let M inverse have some variables. So we say, let M inverse be the matrix with elements A, B, C, and D. So we know that M by M inverse should give us the identity matrix of the same order. The usual multiplication is carried out equating corresponding elements and getting the variables. So if I come here and I say the matrix M 3, 1, 2, 1 multiplies A, B, C, and D, gives us the identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. So let's multiply this out. This will be 3 times A plus 1 times C. This is 3 times B plus 1 times D. This is, I go to the second row, 2 times A plus 1 times C, 2 times B plus 1 times D. So all of these should be equal to the identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. Now let's simplify. 3 times A, that is 3A plus C. This is 3B plus D. So I can solve equation 1 and 2 simultaneously. Let's see. If I subtract equation 2 from equation 1, I'm going to have A is equals to 1. Now let's substitute in any of equations to get C. So I use equation 2. I'm saying that 2 times 1 plus C is equals to 0. This is 2 plus C is equal to 0. C is equal to minus 2. Now, let us get the values of B and D. So I have to make equations containing those variables. Here I'll have 3B plus D is equal to 0. This is equation 3. Then 2B plus D is equals to 1. Call this equation 4. I subtract equation 4 from equation 3. That will give me b is equals to 0 minus 1 gives us minus 1. I substitute in any of the equations to get d. So if I use here equation 4, I'll have 2 times minus 1 plus d is equals to 1. So this minus 2 plus d is equals to 1. D is equals to 1 plus 2. D is equals to 3. So I now have values for the variables a, b, c, and d. So what is my inverse matrix now? The inverse matrix, M inverse, will be equals to, has elements, what is A? 1, B minus 1, C minus 2, and D is 3. Let me do another example. Given the matrix Z with elements 4, 5, 2, 3, let's look for Z inverse. So let's first of all assume that Z inverse has elements A, B, C, and D. So what do we know? We know that when we multiply the matrix Z by Z inverse, it will give us the identity matrix. So let's write this out. This is 4, 5, 2, 3 multiplies the matrix Z inverse, which has element A, B, C, and D, which will give us the identity matrix 1, 0, 0, 1. Now let's do the multiplication. This is 4 times A plus 5 times C. I take the next column, 4 times B plus 5 times D. This is 2 times A plus 3 times C. This will give us 2 times B plus 3 times D. This is equal to 1, 0, 0, 1. Now let's simplify this. This is 4A plus 5C. This is 4B plus 5D. This is 2A plus 3C. This is 2B plus 3D. This will give us 1, 0, 0, 1. Let's establish our simultaneous equations from these two matrices. So here I'll see that I have 4A plus 5C is equals to 1. Call that equation 1. Let's establish the other equation. 2A plus 3C is equals to 0. Call that equation 2. Let's solve 1 and 2 simultaneously. If I multiply equation 2 by 2, this will give me 4A plus 6C is equals to 0. So I want to solve by elimination method. I bring down equation 1. This is 4A plus 5C is equals to 1. Let's subtract those two equations. 4A minus 4A 0. 6C minus 5C gives me C is equals to 0 minus 1 gives me minus 1. Let me substitute into any of the equations. I use this equation here. This is 2a plus 3 times minus 1 is equal to 0. 2a minus 3 is equal to 0. 2a is equal to 3. A is equal to 3 all over 2. I have the values of A and C. Let me now get the values of B and D. So if I look at my matrices here, this is 4A plus 5D is equal to 0. I write that down. 4B plus 5D is equal to 0. That's equation 3. 2b plus 3d is equal to 1. Call that equation 4. Now I want to go by elimination method. Let me multiply this by 2. So that I'll have 4b plus 6d is equals to 2. Then bring down the other equation. 4b plus 5d is equals to 0. Let me subtract. 6d minus 5d gives me d is equals to 2 minus 0, which is 2. So I substitute into any of the equations to get b. Let me use this equation here. I'll have 2b plus 3 times 2 is equals to 1. 2b plus 6 is equals to 1. 2b is equals to 1 minus 6. 2b is equals to minus 5. I divide both sides by 2. B is equals to minus 5 all over 2. Now, what is my inverse matrix? We call that Z inverse is equal to, what's the value of A? A is 3 all over 2. What is the value of B? Minus 5 all over 2. What is the value of C? C is equals to minus 1. And what is the value of D? D is equals to 2. Remarks. The multiplication of a matrix by its inverse does not matter, since M inverse times M is equals to M times M inverse. In some cases, the method of finding the inverse of a 2 by 2 matrix is to interchange the terms in the leading diagonal and then change the signs of the other terms.